Everyone loves crimes. And if you have ever played Skyrim, you definitely committed a crime or two. And one day I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to start a new game and speedrun every type of crime there is? Unfortunately, there are only 11 different crimes that you can be arrested for, so speedrunning 11 crimes would not be very interesting. However, what if, instead of including crimes recognized by the game, we instead pick crimes from the real world? So I analyzed the United States Code and picked 45 different types of crime that you can realistically commit in Skyrim, including shoplifting, vandalism, escaping custody, arson, DUI, more on that later, and many more. Now, without further ado, let's speedrun some crime. As with any real speedrun, we will start a fresh new save file. Now, if you are here to see some expert gameplay, I have never actually speedrun Skyrim, ever. And it might have been a little while since I have even played it, like 11 years ago, but don't worry, I have a plan. After sitting through the whole Skyrim intro, I chose to be Keiji since... no, I don't think they commit more crimes than other races, I just like punching people with my claws. But anyway, as soon as we get control of our character, the timer starts and we can run all the way to Helgen Keep. Technically we escaped the execution, but I will not count this as escaping custody due to unusual circumstances that happened before it. I will also not count any murders I commit while I escape, since I am always attacked first and this could be counted as self-defense. However, the first crime I actually do commit is called Abuse of a Corpse, by simply swinging around the first corpse I encountered. And I also punched it, just in case. After killing a bunch of Imperial soldiers, we obtain a bow. Now, since Skyrim does not have firearms, we can say that the closest thing to a gun in Skyrim is a bow. And since this bow was obtained from a corpse, this means that we do not have a license to carry it, and as such we now illegally possess a firearm. After escaping Helgen Keep, we will first run to Riverwood. As soon as we arrive there, we will go to the shop and, just like the good old days, put a prop onto the merchant's head and commit our third crime, shoplifting. We will also pickpocket the shop owner, committing another crime related to stealing, called larceny. Now the next thing on my list was money laundering. But how can you launder money in Skyrim? Well, I'm glad you asked, because this is actually done through one of the most famous glitches in the game, the vendor glitch. If you choose any category from your inventory to sell, then click and drag your mouse to one of the vendor's categories and click E, you will be able to sell the items that the merchant already has back to themselves, quickly draining all the gold that they have without actually selling anything. You can argue it's not actually laundering, but this is definitely some crime involving illegally obtaining money, so let's just call it that. We will commit a couple more crimes before leaving Riverwood. First, we will commit a type of crime called attempt, where we will attempt to commit some crime but won't actually finish it. To do this, I attempted to lockpick a door to someone's house but gave up midway through. And then I went to another house, lockpicked their door and got inside, committing criminal trespass, or breaking and entering. Then I committed burglary by stealing some stuff inside. Then I threatened an innocent man with a bow without actually causing any harm, which is a type of crime known as assault. It is different from battery, where you actually cause harm like I did to this grandma. And yes, I also punched a chicken, so I committed animal cruelty. But don't worry, the chicken is fine, probably. Since we are now not very welcome in Riverwood, with 11 crimes in our pockets, it is time to head to Whiterun. By the way, did you know that you are also committing a crime right now? Yeah, you are enjoying my video without subscribing, which is actually punishable in 24 states, so subscribe! On the outskirts of the city, we get stopped by a guard, and to not have to deal with the guards just yet, I decided to pay off the fine. But unfortunately, I got teleported to Dragon's Reach, and we do not want to mess with the city itself just yet. Instead, we will fast travel outside and head to the northwest of the city to a bandit camp to grab a thing we will absolutely need later – skooma. This is the most easily obtainable drug in Skyrim, and as soon as we grab it, we are now in possession of a drug. And we will still need it for later. Afterwards, we will wait until nighttime to finally commit some serious crime, and to do this I chose this farmhouse. First I set the house on fire, committing arson. Afterwards, I broke into the house. The resident Nimriel was soundly sleeping inside, but as soon as I broke in, I saw a bottle of succulent Alto wine. So I threatened Nimriel to give me this wine or I would kill her. After grabbing the wine, since I threatened her before grabbing it, this crime is classified as robbery. However, this is not all. I went into the house specifically to kill Nimriel. I went into the house with intent to kill and premeditation. This means that me killing Nimriel is classified as a premeditated homicide, also known as first-degree murder. However, as soon as I murdered Nimriel, her co-worker, Gloth, woke up and started screaming, so I had to kill him as well to get rid of any witnesses. This was a murder with intent, but without premeditation, which makes it a second-degree murder. A guard unfortunately heard their screams and rushed inside the house. However, this was a perfect opportunity to commit crimes related to the police. Since guards are basically a Skyrim equivalent to police officers, by punching a guard that was trying to arrest me, I committed 2 crimes at the same time, resisting arrest and injuring officer. Since it was just one guard, I took the fight outside to... I went outside to... God damn it, after healing, I took the fight outside and started beating the shit out of him. By quietly putting him to sleep, I committed a crime called assaulting or killing a federal officer. On my way, I saw a guy who attacked me for some unknown reason, so I decided to put him on fire without killing him, and watched with pleasure as he writhed in agonizing pain. Basically, I tortured him. Now, you remember how I told you about DUI? Well, there are actually 5 crimes I added to the list that require a car. But there are no cars in Skyrim. The only thing that you can drive is a horse. So let me explain why I think horses can be classified as cars. First, cars have 4 wheels, and horses have 4 legs. Second, you need to fill up a car, and you need to feed a horse. And finally, cars have horsepower. And a horse is a horsepower, because it's a horse. Can't argue with that. Since horses are cars, by stealing a horse from the stable, I basically commit Grand Theft Auto. By driving on my horse right after a beer, I commit a DUI. Afterwards, I ran over some pedestrians and ran away, committing a hit and run, and drove over someone else's garden, committing reckless driving. Finally, I took out a bow and while sitting on the horse, shot an innocent bystander, committing a drive-by shooting. The policeman chased after me, but I escaped with my amazing 1 horsepower, committing a crime of evading the police. The next crime is boating DUI. It's when you drunk drive a boat instead of a car. Now, there are boats in Skyrim, but you actually cannot operate any of them. So, you know how I said that a horse is a car, and a boat is basically a car in the water? This means that a horse in the water is basically a car in the water, which is a boat, since horse a car and boat is car horse, horse in a boat a car horse. So I drank another beer and swam a horse in a river. Boating DUI, ladies and gentlemen. After teleporting to Whiterun, we are arrested once again, but now we actually want to go to jail to commit another crime. And you guessed it, it is time to escape custody. After successfully escaping confinement, we are caught once again, but now we can serve our time in prison. After that, it is time to invoke chaos in the city of Whiterun. First, we grab a bottle of mead from our inventory and swing it around, which can be classified as an open container violation. And since we were violently swinging it and littering, this can be classified as disorderly conduct. Then we will actually drink it in the middle of a street, committing public intoxication. After that, we will quickly detour to Hall of the Dead to accept a quest from Anders, who asks us to find his amulet. You can say he entrusted us with that amulet. After finding it in catacombs, we will not actually give it back to him, Instead, we will keep it for ourselves. Since we misappropriated the property we were entrusted with, we committed a crime called embezzlement. While on the street, which is a public place, we will remove all items of clothing we have to get naked as much as we can in the game. This is a clear case of indecent exposure.
You might consider putting on something. Anything.
After that, I start looking for something in the city, but for the life of me can't find it, and you can try to guess what I'm looking for. For now, we will go to a random store to violently thrash everything we see, knocking all of the items from the shelf. We are a cat after all. This act is known as vandalism. Afterwards, we will head to the tavern. Here we will leave a bottle of skooma inside the floorboards, wherever it went, committing smuggling. And we will also sell one bottle to the merchant, which is basically drug trafficking. Finally, it was time to find that thing I was looking for, and after running around for a bit, I located the specimen, a child. This child will help us to commit 2 crimes. First, we will give the child a bottle of wine, shoving it up their face. This crime is known as selling or supplying alcohol to a minor. And then we will punch the kid, committing child abuse. We will head to the tavern once again, since it is a place where we can consistently find someone who is essential to this speedrun, Nazim. As soon as we see him, he says this.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Now, what he said deeply upset me. I was immensely offended by his words and couldn't contain myself, so in a fit of blind rage I started punching him. My vision was blurry, but I kept going until he took his last breath. But it wasn't my intent to kill him. I was just so angry I couldn't stop. So this is not actually classified as a murder. This is called manslaughter. And in this particular case, it is a type of crime called voluntary manslaughter, since it was done in response to a provocation. We will once again serve our time in jail, and on the way back we will encounter a random man. I was so sick of always getting caught, so I took out a weapon and in front of the guards threatened to kill this man if I ever got caught again, essentially taking a hostage.
God might get nervous. A man approaches with his weapon drawn.
Okie dokie, time to leave and never come back. The last crime related to murder we need to commit is involuntary manslaughter. To put it simply, the death of another person is classified as involuntary manslaughter if they get killed due to our negligence. At first I saw a group of people standing around the corpse of a giant, and due to my negligence I thought that the giant was still alive. So I tried to save the people around him by attacking him with fire, and just absolutely accidentally might have also lightly damaged everyone else. But it turned out that all of those people were essential NPCs and couldn't be killed, so I got what I deserved and went to a nearby meadery instead. Now, what could I do to accidentally cause someone's death here? Well, I had the most brilliant idea ever. I made a bet with the owner of this establishment. I bet that I could bake this apple using fire from this distance. Huh, there is no way you can bake an apple from this distance, he said. At least I think he did. So I showed him what I was capable of. Oh, whoops, sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so clumsy. Hey, where are you going? The bet still stands. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, so unfortunate that I grazed you with my fire, but the apple is still not baked. I'm very committed to this bet. I'm sorry. Let me just finish this and... Oh well, I might have made a mistake.
Stop right there.
Hey, his death did not even increase my bounty, which means I was right. It definitely was a crime of involuntary manslaughter. We only have 4 crimes left to commit: bribery, conspiracy, aiding and abetting, and domestic violence. Luckily, we can commit all of them by heading to Riften. At the entrance of the city, we are not let in until we pay a city tax, which we clearly recognize as a shakedown, and by willingly giving the gold to the guard, we commit an act of bribery. In Riften, we meet the star of the whole speedrun, Brynjolf. He asks us to help him commit a crime. I, as a truly depraved criminal, happily accept his offer, and together we plan out what we need to do, which is a crime of conspiracy. After that, I sneakily steal a ring and plant it in someone else's pockets. Since I helped Brynjolf to commit a crime, I also committed a separate crime known as aiding and abetting. At last, the grand finale, domestic violence. An act of violence is classified as domestic violence only when it is directed towards a member of the family. And what is the fastest way to obtain a family member in Skyrim? That's right, marriage. So I went to the tavern in Riften, hired the first guy I saw, equipped the amulet of Mara and decided that he was the one for me, forever and ever. I quickly arranged the wedding, attained the ceremony and showed my immense love to my dear husband by punching him with all my might, committing the final crime. And here we have it, all crime percent in sub 1 hour. But then I realized what I have done. The immense guilt of all of my crimes dawned on me. I couldn't live with it. So I went back to Whiterun, turned myself in, confessed to all of my crimes and was thrown to jail to rot for all eternity. And you know what? I deserve it.
歪まない想い